The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
And this is Jolene.
And you guys are with Durian ASEAN, where we discuss critical issue, and this time we will focus on the rise of climate movements in ASEAN. With us is Mirantha and also Lastrina. Both of them are from Southeast Asia, and previously in the first segment they share about the climate movements in their own country, as well as our own host Jolene also shared her experience being involved in the climate movement in Malaysia. And now we are going to discuss further on climate change and case studies on community awareness on sustainability in this region. First of all, I want to ask Lastrina, you are very much involved in the climate movement in Singapore. Perhaps you can share some of the case studies of what you have done or what your peers have done to create more awareness on the grassroots, not just among the younger generation, but also among the community.
Okay, so case studies of groups doing work on climate change. I'll bring up 3 examples from Singapore. So first is by 350 Singapore. They have been around since 2010 and they are parked under the youth wing of the labour movement in Singapore. So for them, they do 2 main activities. So one is they engage volunteers who then organize regular documentary screenings or public workshops as an easy way to reach out to people and to engage people and get them into the issue. And then the second kind of activity that they do, Young NTUC organizes an annual run called NTUC Income Run 350, organized by Young NTUC. And it's a large-scale event, right? It happens once a year. Everyone here, like if you look into Singapore's running calendar, there's always a running competition every week. So tapping into the interests of what people are interested in. So people are interested in running. So they organize a running event. So like in one day, you can reach out to 10,000 people. And there's an eco-village. At the end of it, people are encouraged to visit some of these booths which are manned by the local NGOs. So I think it's a great way to leverage on what people are interested in, like documentary screenings or running event. And from there, you talk about climate change to people. So that's what 350 Singapore does.
Oh, that's amazing. And what about in Indonesia?
So in Indonesia, actually just last week, we have an annual event. This year, it was held by the Ministry of Forestry and Environment, and it's Indonesian Climate Change Education Forum and Expo. Basically, it's an expo mostly focused on educating people about climate change, and the participant there includes also from the government, from the NGOs, and also the public itself. And the main focus is general public and also the educators and the younger people. So that's one of the effort that Indonesia does. It's an annual event. And also I am working with, I'm a volunteer for the Climate Reality Project.
Oh, wow.
And basically, what we do is how to get smart, get loud, and get active. That's the motto. And we are doing presentation. We have more than 300 presenters in Indonesia right now. And we are doing presentation in a lot of fields because we are volunteers and we came from different backgrounds, and we are doing presentation about climate change and what is happening and how to be the solution for climate change and communities, and also in the general public as well. And in general public itself, in my city, I would say there's always a car-free day every Sunday.
A car-free day?
So a lot of people, car-free day in the whole street, it's closed, so no cars there. Yeah, it's happening every Sunday, and so it's a great place to come and to work out and also to meet people because, as you know, in the current world, we became much more urbanized and that sense of communication is gone. And with this, it's not only doing well for the earth, reducing carbon, but it's also bringing back that communication lifestyle that we sometimes missed nowadays.
So. That's definitely spot on. For Malaysia, do we have any car-free day?
Not that I know of. I only know every Saturday we have free plastic day.
So any interesting initiative in Malaysia that we can highlight?
I would say one of the interesting initiatives is called KL Eco Film Festival. It is an annual eco film festival that will be conducted every year by Eco Nights, that they will actually have like screenings of free eco environmental documentaries and short films. They will also organize eco fashion competitions, eco building design competitions, or eco filming competitions for all the youth. So people will basically able to attend this event and to explore more deeply about environmental education. And they also organize some flea markets. Trying to engage to people to lead a much more sustainable, healthy lifestyle. And yesterday, I just attended Fashion Revolutions in KL, where they are actually promoting sustainable fashion and raising eco-fashion awareness. Yeah. In TTDI community, they have planned to set up a green learning center in their area to educate people, and also they are trying on their urban farming.
Interesting that you highlight urban farming, because recently I watched, I think from CNN, the First Lady of the US, Michelle Obama, she's also encouraging urban farming in the US, and she went to schools where they make urban farming as part of the school core curriculum. And it's quite interesting to see how excited the children are when they are able to sort of cook the vegetables that they planted themselves. In Singapore, it's such a small land, but do you guys focus on urban farming as well?
I wouldn't say like on a national scale. I haven't seen like a public statement where we say we focus on urban farming. But I know of groups who are focusing on this. So one of my co-founders for Singapore Youth for Climate Action, for example, Trey Fen, she started another group called Foodscape Collective, where they focus on community gardens and urban farming. And from what I can see, I think that with the network of people she has, with pictures of people involved in urban gardenings in Singapore, I think there's a growing number of people who are interested in this. And I think like one good example of how this can be productive and beneficial for the household, right? Usually if, for a Singapore flat, usually the corridor is just maybe 1.5 meters wide. So technically people just put maybe like 4 or 5 potted plants and that's it. But we came across this example of this person who managed to grow 50 kilos of produce every week, which is
great.
a lot. Yeah, so I think it really depends on like the methods that you use, and perhaps at the end of the day, if you really think that urban farming is the solution for your household needs so that you don't spend so much money at the market, then it's one of the ways where people can do urban farming, provide food for their family, as well as I think see that as a solution to producing food for themselves so that they don't depend on food exported from other areas.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, this is the end of our second segment. In the third segment of our discussion on the rise of climate movements in ASEAN, we will discuss on the challenges and issues faced by government, private sectors, and civil society.
You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.